So about 2 years ago, Bruno and I were here, and we were just presenting Bruno with some sort of suggestions on things. They're an IT-savvy company, technology-savvy company, and how they might basically help improve basically planner preparation for conferences. And I challenged him to develop a tool for the industry, us CI people, and I feel like it's a very time-consuming activity for me. We're always looking for new science. What's the emerging data coming out on competitor programs? We're trying to get the view from the KEEs and the KOLs and what they think about the new data. We're networking there with the, our physicians running our clinical trials, the KEEs and the KOLs, and just collaborators in general. There's a lot of education and patient advocacy, the benefits that go on there with new product launching. It's a venue for new product launching. There's advertising taking place with, positioning. We're meeting with patient professional societies. So there's a lot of value in these conferences. So one needs to get the most value, you need to be really prepared. And it's a lot of work, okay? So a lot of moving gears. We have pre-congress prep activities where we're putting up the key intelligence questions and topics. We're preparing the itinerary and planner. But there's on-site and post-conference activities that we're involved in, gathering of information, quarterbacking the conference, debriefing there, debriefing when you get back, writing up the data. We do have third-party support, and I can't say enough good things about third-party support because I currently couldn't cover my conferences without them. But there's still a limitation sometimes to what you can provide them on internal strategy, some things you're looking for when you're sort of going through the congresses, the programs, and what you might want covered. Certainly I'm on the R&D side, so I manage immunology on the R&D side, so I can't give out our whole list of, assets. So as much support as there is, I still go through the programs myself and actually highlight things that need to be covered for project teams, early research projects, strategy that's taking place within the company. So I always give things a quick scan myself, so it's time consuming on my part. When you think about the itinerary considerations, you're talking about what do we need to do. As for us, we're tracking the program and the abstract updates and late-breaking abstracts, so we're always going back to the website to track when information is coming out. We're doing searches around, everything that's there. They usually have a search key and looking at who's coming, what companies, the targets. So we're constantly doing searches, and then we're redoing all of this as new information comes out because it's coming out in waves. Okay, and Congress apps are certainly provided, but there's really no way to pull that into an Excel spreadsheet. So when you're working for a corporation in different business units, it becomes very difficult because the apps are kind of made for the individual physicians and students going to these congresses, where you can actually download stuff into your Outlook calendar. But when you want to share it with an organization and you want to sort of tag who would the MSLs or project teams and have one sort of spreadsheet for everyone, it becomes a little difficult. What you want is something basically where we want to look at the full set of abstracts coming out of the meeting. We want them filtered, which is what we do. We try to filter them down based on, our topics of interest, maybe our targets, other types of strategy, sessions of interest. And then you come down to your filtered abstracts, and you want to assign them, basically, either to a project team, a brand team, MSL, maybe it might even be for research. So you definitely then going to want to assign these, basically, to the different individual units. So this is kind of what was presented to Larvol group, okay, Bruno's group. So I'm going to pass the baton over.
Thank you, Indra. Thank you, Al, and thank for the organizers. Can you hear me? Can you understand me? Yeah. So, a mentor of mine told me that a wonderful situation in business is when you have a business idea that doesn't come from you, that you didn't think about at all, but came from your customer or your prospective customer. And that's exactly what happened here. So as some of you heard, or some of you using these solutions on the left, connotate Linguimatics. Some of you heard about these two other technologies or companies. By the way, is my voice coming through? Yeah? Okay. Anybody has heard about connotate? No? Or Linguimatics? Yeah? One or two? So these technologies and platforms do the following. What Connotate does is that they have a technology to extract data from the websites, from the ASCO, the ASH, the organizers. And what Linguimatics does is that they have a different technology to extract the concepts from these abstracts, from these proceedings. And some of our customers are using them or use them in the past. But what they wanted us to do is to integrate all of that into a turnkey solution and say, Bruno, Eric, Sarah, and team, what are going to do the following? Take 20 conferences, 30 conferences, and for each of them, do the following. As soon as the data arrives, and sometimes it arrives, of course, there's a program, there's an initial program, then there are full titles, then there is full abstract. Sometimes the full abstract arrives in waves, as many of you know, ASH, for example, is a great example. The abstract arrived one day, then a day later you got 50 more abstract, 50 more abstract. Someone needs to keep track of that trickling down of data. Someone needs to index that data, extract all of the key concepts from that data, prepare planners and update the planners as it moves forward. Ultimately, even monitor during the conference the activity, particularly on Twitter, about the conference abstract. And also in some cases, and I'll talk about this, link the data to data we already know about, for example, about clinical trials that are mentioned in the proceedings. So the thing we do is that even before the program is announced, what we do is that we collect every mention of upcoming data. The financial analysts, the management might say, we plan to present the data at ASH. So we collect all of that as a pre-planner, as an announcement of what is going to be expected at that conference. So it's a pre-planner in some ways. That's the first step. Then of course there is, even sometime before the title, you've got the program with very limited data. And of course the VP is going to say, oh, why don't we first check that and give you a first picture on the expected data at ASCO. So then you've got the titles with limited data. Then you've got the full abstracts. As I said before, in some cases the full abstract comes in waves, and consolidating the data, because at that point, you or someone in your team, the person quarterbacking the prep, has a working spreadsheet. And so when you've got new data coming, you need to consolidate everything. And it might not match line to line because you've got new abstract, and the data, there's a number of data issues that could be involved as well. So the abstract comes, and then of course you've got the late-breaking abstracts comes later. And then you've got the conference itself. And there's a lot of work to do. And on top of that, it's a series of sprints, because each time there's a new data release, the planners need to be revised and updated, etc. So then what needs to be done, whether we do it or someone else does it, is we need to take that raw data and to extract all of the information we need as pharma CI professionals. So ultimately, the result of this is a planner. So in many cases, our customers want it as a form of a spreadsheet. Either a spreadsheet that we just send them their way in various steps, updated, with highlighted what's new, or we would just update a Google Sheet on a Google Drive, so that it's a live document, and it's a little bit easier. But I call it a mini database, because at that size it becomes a mini database, searchable, sortable, and customizable. We, in some cases, organize it and customize it so that there will be a tab, for example, where everything about a given competitor, or sometimes our customers themselves, is in one tab, or we have one tab for a given disease state or a typical MOA, or perhaps per day. Now then, during the presentation itself, what we've been asked to do is to take about 800 or so Twitter handles. So key opinion leaders, of course, but also influential journalists, analysts, financial analysts, all of that, and to filter by the hashtag for the conference. So that's the first filter. And then a number of additional filters, asset mention, disease mention, clinical trial mention, and to use all of these filters to generate a live feed during the conference. And also it could be a live feed, or it could be a daily debrief during the conference. So this is also something we did as part of this solution. Okay? So that's the overall picture for this solution. The idea for us, and again I want to thank Indra for coming up with the idea and then helping us define this solution. But the ultimate idea is that anything that can be done by technology, in our view, should be done by technology, because there's a lot of things that cannot be done by technology. Ultimately, the key questions, the key topics, the analysis, and the ultimate customization needs to be done by people who are very close to the end users, either someone internal or a vendor, a primary vendor. That also typically is going to go to the conference. So that's essentially our solution. And again, thank you, the organizers, and thank you, Indra. And hopefully there are going to be some questions about any aspects of what we do. And one last point is that if anybody in the audience from a pharma company would like to pilot, to try this solution, we have a special deal. If you sign up during the conference, it will be the first free conference that we will be covering for you between any conference between now and the end of the year.
Okay.